All right, folks, Mark here again, cooking books, bringing you informational meals. Just finished an amazing exercise, a great workout. Really quick, as you guys know, I study the field of science, various sciences, chemistry, biochemistry, photobiology, photospectroscopy, and I've been looking at alchemy for the last couple of days. Alchemy, the alchemist, and I've come to the conclusion that today's scientists are yesterday's alchemists. What the alchemists begun, scientists has, I wouldn't say completed, because I still believe evolution is continuing as long as you're alive. The earth is still evolving. But what I will say is today's scientist is yesterday's alchemists. What the alchemists begun, the scientist today has expanded and furthered. Okay, so I want to make that clear. Now, the point I want to make is people alchemize yourself. I don't know if alchemize is legitimate a word or not, but it just sounds right. It sounds right in my brain. So alchemize yourself. I mean by that, transmute yourself, transform yourself, transfigure yourself, because it's scientifically proven that it's possible based off empirical data, not just anecdotal, but empirical data. What I've come to understand for I believe in the Bible, right? I believe in science as well. So there might be some contradiction there for some of you, not for me, for some of you. But here's what I found interesting. For those who don't believe in the miracles of the Bible, who say the parting of the Red Sea is mythical, the turning water into wine is mythical, taking 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes and feeding the multitude of people that Jesus done is folklore or folk tale. For those who believe the miracles of the Bibles are nonsensical, here's what I have to say to you. Science is the language of the miracles. So let me repeat that. Science is the language of the miracles. If you don't believe in the miracles, well, then I can say science comes to the empirical aid of the miracles, because science is the language of the miracles. When the anecdotes of Jesus turning water into wine is refuted or denounced by those who are agnostic or atheists or don't believe for whatever reasons, science comes to the aid and says, well, wait a minute, if scientifically, Dmitry Mendeleev, who is considered the father of the periodic table, born in Russia, was a scientist, biochemist, chemist, inventor, showed based off the periodic table how transuranium can be made, right? Transuranium or different types of uranium, right? Or let's go look at carbon. Carbon-6 has 6 protons. If it gets 7, becomes nitrogen. So you have, and if you look at the periodic table, these are completely different elements. So you have a carbon, which is an element. Let's say carbon represent the water. Carbon represents the water that Jesus turned into wine. And when you add when you manipulate its substructure, which is a proton, it becomes nitrogen. If you look at the periodic table, these are on the spectrum, they're completely different elements. It's not an element putting lipstick on and makeup on and it's the same element with makeup. No, it's a completely different element. So that right there is transmutation, and it's alchemy, right? That's the textbook definition of alchemy. You take one element and completely manipulate it into a totally different element, right? You take a base lower element, like let's say lead, and you transmute it into silver or gold. Okay, so we see it being done based off the periodic table. So if the carbon represents the bread, and we can manipulate that scientifically and turn it into nitrogen, then why is it impossible for us to wrap our minds or to imagine that Jesus took water and manipulated it into wine, or Jesus took bread and manipulated it into, took 5 loaves and manipulated it into thousands of loaves to feed the multitude, right? Why is it impossible to believe Jesus took 2 fish, multiplied it to feed thousands, or a multitude of people, when you could take 1 cell and through a process called meiosis, multiply, replicate, duplicate, and make trillions of cells, which are you and I. So science is the language of the miracles, people. Study. Till next time. Y'all know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go cook some books.